Chapter 6. The Drawing. Now every family has their own Christmas traditions. Sometimes it's caroling, sometimes it's Christmas shows or concerts, sometimes it's even a Christmas party, which I might add I will be having, and to my friends, you better be there. For my family it's a little different. You see, there is a church in my town that puts on one of the greatest things ever, a living nativity. I'm sure you've seen those shows where actors pretty much just do the Mary and Joseph arriving to the stable, and then we witness the birth of Jesus with the shepherds and 3 kings coming. And yes, I said 3 kings. Some of you say 3 wise men, but whatever. You sound like real wise guys. Anyway, this was something a bit extreme. These people did almost the entire Bible in about an hour and a half. See, they would start out with the Garden of Eden. Why does that sound so familiar? And then they would move on to the prophets prophesying the birth of Christ. Then they would skip the rest of the Old Testament, whatever, and then jumped right into the New with the Annunciation. To say the least, this thing was impressive. The talent, the sets, even the effects were cheesy, but they weren't unbearable. It was kind of like time travel. Let's see, time travel. Like Quantum Leap. Now, Star Trek's got loads of it, but no. Time Tunnel? Too old. I know. Doctor Who. Yeah, that's time travel. Moving on, sorry. My parents and I pulled up to the parking lot and went into the church's lobby, a fairly big place. We made our way to the actual church and to the Garden of Eden. Confused? I'll get to that. I veered off and found myself into the church's gymnasium. Everyone was getting ready for the giant cookie and hot chocolate party buffet after going through the Living Nativity outside. I looked around and then saw a bulletin board. I went over to it and saw a collection of drawings of the nativity scene. It was there I spotted a, I'll admit, sloppily drawn Mary and Joseph. Between them was an X with a circle on top with a smiley face on it. Now, if you disregard the smiley face, the drawing, which was clearly supposed to be the baby Jesus, looked eerily like the same circle and X sticker thing. I had it in my pocket and pulled it out and put it right up next to the drawing. They were the exact same thing. I looked in the corner of the drawing and saw the name, D. Wilcox. Oh my gosh, this sticker thing was my drawing. Just then I turned around to see Michael, Lana, Nicholas, Monica, and Monica's friend Samantha, and behind them all was Flynn. Good, I'm glad that you all are here. I'm guessing Flynn filled you in on what's going on? Yes, Daniel. And I guess I have to apologize for what I said earlier, Monica said. Apology accepted. Samantha, Monica seemed to imply that you knew a little bit about the legend. I also introduced her to the group. Well, there is something about, a drawing that we uncovered at your house, and I think that there was something about a key. Well, that would make sense. Group, specifically Flynn, does this and this look familiar? I held up one hand with the sticker and pointed to my drawing with the other. Danny, they're exactly the same, Nicholas said. I guess this legend is true. The Carol of the Crib is true. I always thought it was a silly legend, but I guess it's the real deal, Samantha said. No, it's real. Now, this started with me hearing and seeing verses from Christmas carols that led me to the next clue, but now I'm seeing drawings. My friend Jack and I discovered it last night. Flynn, is there more? Actually, there is. There is supposedly a set of phrases with lines blacked out. It's sort of like a poem, and the blanks are where the verses from the carols go. Do you have this supposed poem? Flynn explained, since paper comes from trees, silence tree huggers, that the supposed poem would come from the tree of knowledge. I then smiled and put my hands behind my back and paced back and forth, as if I were the captain of a starship. Come on, you really didn't think I would let this story go without at least one Trek reference, a direct one. Alright, crew, We have traveled through space to get to this point. Nicholas started to raise his hand. Danny, we didn't travel through... Not now. This will be an expedition of the band of adventurers who will discover the crib of Christ. Their mission, to connect all the clues and find the manger, to bring it to a safe environment, possibly a museum. Or the library, Flynn interjected. Yeah, right. To boldly uncover where no one had uncovered before. That's when I stopped and I put on my fedora. I slid my hand across the brim and pointed my finger at the rest of my caravan, and they all looked at me like I was crazy. Well, frankly, what else to do? So to get off topic, but to be fair, I did say I would return to this, the whole church and the garden thing. Yeah. Just as the Bible begins, the whole Living Nativity starts with the Garden of Eden. They had a giant projection screen that would show some nature shots, and then the screen would roll back and would show the Garden of Eden and two people playing Adam and Eve, who would come out as the narrator would describe their every move. To be fair, it looked nothing like the real thing. Believe me, I know. Anyway, like the story, Adam and Eve ate the apple and they were banished. Sometimes they actually had a guy that played the devil, and he was really good at it. Evil like nobody's business. This took place in the church proper. We made our way out of the gymnasium towards the church proper where they do this garden bit. It was then I heard the narrator say, or sing, or say something. This. That was it. The song, I hope, did know that there were two more words after those three words. I know that this was a little town, but what could that mean? Guys, I heard another one. Danny, it's okay. I heard it too, Samantha said. Soon everyone else in my group started to say that they heard it too. Maybe this is contagious. Perhaps this had something to do with the word little. Also, why would the narrator stop and have this song come in? Then I thought about it. Little. Tree? Little room with a tree of knowledge? That being the knowledge of good and evil. Go, Danny! Go, Danny! Sorry. The Garden of Eden didn't used to be this elaborate and in the church proper. In fact, it used to be smaller. Anyway, once that ended, and once we watched the rest of the Garden of Eden, we got up and got ready to get in line to go outside. I saw my parents and waved. They saw me, and I was with my friends and Flynn, and signaled that I could go and stay with them. So, we were on our way through a hallway, through a closed-off section of that same gymnasium, and then outside, until... Hey, all, Jack said. Jack! You helped uncover the drawing! Why not join the group? Thought you'd never ask where to next. Remember that old room where the garden used to be? We need to get there, but I bet the door's locked. I can get you in there. I'm actually here on assignment for the local news station. Just getting some shots. Let's go. That's why I couldn't join you. However, I held my group back in the hallway just for a second. Jack unlocked one of the rooms. When we got in, the room was pitch black. Until I flipped on a light switch.